Welcome back to part two for Security Cloud Solution. Thank you if you watched part one. And what we're going to do in this one is we're going to go over the lab topology very quickly, and we're going to be managing projects, users, and roles in OpenStack, as well as creating a security group from an instance or add a required role to it. Bit of what we did in the prior video, and create a new user and verify the access for the user to take it just a step further. So let's go ahead and get started with the first exercise. Well, the first and only exercise. So managing projects, users, and roles in OpenStack. Now, as an admin, you manage projects, users, and roles, right, for OpenStack instance. Now, roles define which actions users can perform on the project, right? We assign roles to user project pairs, and however, we can manage project users and roles independently from each other, right? So during a cloud setup, the operator defines at least one project user and role, and you can add, update, and delete projects and users, assign users to one or more projects, and change or remove the assignment. Now, to enable or disable a project or user, we can update that project or user. We can also assign or change quotas at the project level. So what I'm going to do is similar to what I did before in the little prior video, create a security group for an instance and add a required rule to it. But I'm going to take it a step further with also creating a new user and verifying the access for the user. So first, I'm going to add and list some projects. And to do that, I'm actually got to log in here. Right. And naturally, I'm going to have to go back, as I've done in the last couple of videos, go back to PuTTY to retrieve the password. So I'll place you guys on the other side of that. So now I'm officially logged in. I'm on the OpenStack dashboard, which opens by default, of course, displaying the identity tab. Just want to take a look at projects instead. And this place looks like two projects. Let's see, admin and service. Admin looks like to initialize the cloud and service for the Keystone-based authorization and authentication. But nonetheless, we're going to create our own project. And we're going to do a test, as I mentioned before. So let's actually do test project. All right, so I'm going to add more details eventually, but that's all I want to put right now. So now I'm going to add members to the project. All right, so the install has been completed for default user accounts to be created. All right, so I'm going to have additional user accounts that can be created to give users access to the resources in our OpenStack environment, or the OpenStack environment rather. Now, I can assign pre-listed members to a project, or pre-listed members include services like Keystone, Heat, Neutron, Clients, and Sender, which I went over in a prior video. Well, what I'm going to do is assign pre-listed members to the test project. So I'm actually going to click here, right? And it displays, of course, a list of available members. Now, from the list, again, I can select and assign members to this project by just simply clicking the plus button here for each user. Now, the assigned members are listed as members with the minus button, which you'll see if I do this here, and I can do that with the minus the project members column, right? So, and you can also set quotas. Quotas help limit the amount or number of resources that can be assigned to a project or a user. Now, for example, quotas can be used to limit the number of instances or the amount of CPU assigned to a specific user. What I'm going to do is set the quotas for the test project, right? So let's take a look at the quotas tab. So the quotas tab, the resources are listed along with the default quota value for each resource. And if you notice, the options show for you to set the required quota for each resource. For example, right, the metadata items field, we could specify, or I could specify the limit for the number of metadata items allowed for the project. So by default, OpenStack allows 128 metadata items for a project. Similarly, I can specify the number of instance cores allowed for the project in the vCPUs field right here. So by default, OpenStack allows 20 instance cores for a project. Similarly, I can view and specify all the other resources listed, right? And now, after viewing all the fields that were automatically populated with their default values, I'm going to click Create a Project at the bottom here. All right, perfect. So we see the test project here. Now I'm going to add some users. Now, in addition to assigning members from the pre-listed ones, we can also add users to a project. Now, each user can be a member of one or more project. So I'm going to add a test user to this project. So um, let's take a look here. So let's create a user. Okay. And password. Perfecto. All right, so let's see. Let's do test project here. Right, everything looks good. Of course, and we're going to create user. All right, perfect. So on the users, we see test user here, the newly created test user. So now we're going to verify the user profile of the added user. So now after adding the user, I'm going to verify a user profile that's assigned to the user. So I can log in as the user to verify and view the profile details. So I'm going to view the profile details of particularly the test user. So let's click sign out here. Right. I'm going to do test user update. Should be logging in. Perfecto. So now the overview window is displayed. Right, and we'll notice that on the top right here, we'll see the test dash user and the associated project is a test project. Should show test project. But nonetheless, it is the test project. Now we can see we can take a look at the list of all of the um, existing users. We can take a look at that as well. We take a look here, users. And it's going to list, of course, only the test user due to the fact that the test user is the only member of the group and not an admin user as specified before, right? As far as the creating everything within the admin itself. But nonetheless, that's pretty much the end of this video where we created a test project. We added a member and we also added a test user as well. And just for a brief recap, we went over just managing project users and roles in the OpenStack. And we created a security group for an instance and added a required rule to it in the prior video. And in this video, we also created a new user and verified the access for the user as well. This is definitely, again, a lot of fun. Can't wait to get to the next video where we're actually going to be maintaining a cloud solution. It's actually going to be two parts of that one as well. I'll see you there. Until then, stay curious, stay secure.